Watu wengi hawakuwa wanajua haki zao vile za kibinadamu kama Soji people. So tulikuwa na mauaji mingi, watu wanajiua, watu wanajichukia, wengine wanafosiwa kwa marriage, vitu kama hizo.
Maisha ya LGBTI hapa Soji community at the coast kulikuwa na shida nyingi. Kwanza kulikuwa na violence, pili kulikuwa na eviction na blackmail.
I was very silent about ITGNC issues because even the language was removed from me. I was not certain or sure about how to go about these things.
Transgender Kenyans were not recognized. The issue of documentation was very apparent.
There's a guy who was heading Ishta by that time called Anti-Ivy. We were able to mobilize 20 people and we were able to go to NAC offices and they were shocked. The whole building came to standstill. They could not believe that we have men who have sex with men.
Issues of Soji were, or then MSM, were pathologized. You know, it's about the disease. So it's about MSM, HIV. You know, MSM equals HIV.
There was no unity, there was no visibility. Kulikuwa na uoga sana. Like people were afraid to come out. Yes, we were there, but no one was out, like, comfortably out.
There is an issue with even the society just understanding who trans people are, who intersex people are, who gender-conforming people are.
People who came out at this period, I would recognize them as heroes because they are people who faced serious risks to themselves. They faced misinterpretation of the issues that they were bringing out at this point, despite all that environment where people were evicted from houses, people were stoned and all that.
You can advocate as much as you want, you can educate as much as you want, but sometimes, even with all that, people are still not willing to give you that respect as a human being.
For a long period of time, we have seen voices muzzled, either by the state or by, you know, people in power with regards to what they front for or what a particular community fronts for.
Formation at this stage of gay and lesbian coalition did not come in a vacuum per se. It was a need-based kind of realization of a safe space.
I think it's high time we start a movement. It's high time we come together as LGBTI community and speak in one voice, and so that we can have an LGBTI agenda. We had various meetings in the year 2006, and in August 2006, that's when we agreed to call an organization called Gay and Lesbian Coalition of Kenya.
The lack of transgender movement, transgender voices, transgender programming pre-opted the existence of our network.
The foundation that we have right now as the queer women's movement in Kenya was set up by the queer women movements back in around 2016 about to 2012. It was a movement that set foundations for things like the creation of safe online spaces.
I'm only now seeing a clarity in LBQ organizing about what those issues are, what LBQ issues are, as that particular movement has gotten younger and more political and more focused on their needs. And one of the needs that I've found interesting emerging is HIV among LBQ women.
We were there to challenge systems. We were there to make sure systems were not against us. We were there to make sure that we could all enjoy services just like any other Kenyan.
The movement started growing. There's a lot of visibility, and people coming out together and, you know, sharing a common space and being yourself.
People have been empowered. Now people have information. People know their rights. People are now comfortable working in these health services and demand for their rights because they've been empowered, not like kitambo.
Tumeanza kujua haki zetu kama wasagaji na kama Soji people. Nina uhakika na naongea ukweli nikisema wasagaji wenzangu wako na usalama na tumeendelea kuwafundisha kuhusu haki yao na usalama wao.
I think the environment has continued to change somehow. It's not been a linear, it's not been a line, it's not just been a straight line. There have been different forces that have converged to make that.
We have seen a lot of successes, we've seen a lot of gains, and it's unfortunate that it took so long, but sometimes the struggle is not very easy. You have to go through a lot to get a lot.
We have arrived at a place where we are able to speak about our issues, raise our issues, advocate for gender non-conforming issues and gender non-conformity in its entirety, even within the sexual orientation movement, without feeling like you're stepping on other people's toes or you're doing something that will offend other people.
When I look at how the movement has grown and the wealth of wealth of expertise and strategies and approaches, and it's in the LGBT movement.
I think if you're thinking gay people only, and gay people being everybody within their sexual orientation, gender identity and expression spectrum, then you're having a homo-patriarchal lens.
There are lesbians who have an analysis of what is wrong with issues and what it is they want to do about it. Just general issues of advocacy, general issues of even feminist thinking. They are thinking of what is wrong, why are our communities marginalized, and what role does patriarchy play in it, and how can we dismantle those systems of patriarchy. That is talk that's very recent.
I think when someone becomes representative of a group, it's always problematic. Audrey's politics or my politics are not the politics of the entire trans community. And I think people need to pay attention to that. That when she speaks or when I speak for myself.
Community is there, but then the together part is still not there. So that I will sit here and complain about that one and that one and the other one. But then what am I doing?
If LGBT people are able to strengthen that movement and try and speak, yes, we'll agree and there, but let's agree to disagree and be able to strengthen our movement.
Kenya has a lot of leeways, at least legally, for both gender diverse persons, but as well as sexually diverse persons, that legally there is space to navigate those issues.
For me, stepping back, I'd have to say that in Kenya, we've been a bit lucky. It's not been easy. It's actually been quite a struggle, but the inroads made with the ministries of health, for example, where from that one paragraph and MSM being asked to the table to today, where we now have full-fledged national networks, both MSM, HIV networks, LGBTI networks, sex worker networks, harm reduction networks. It's something we should be very proud of, but it's not been an easy journey. Nobody should see it that way.
We are continually treated as lesser than. And the moment that begins to change, then we begin to see progress.
If we didn't come up with a movement called GALCK, I don't think we'd be where we are, because people will be different, we'll be speaking and doing different kind of things.
Whatever we've created was a path of strong activists who could challenge norms and who could create a space for other trans people to come and follow.
Nataka kushukuru sana GALCK kwa msukumo wao na kwa effort yao na ile upenda community.
My hopes and aspirations is that it's going to get more political, that it's going to get less apathetic, a lot more engaged in not just LGBTQ issues, but issues that concern us as a community.
I talked to my sister and explained to them what it meant to be gender non-binary and what it meant to identify as a gender non-conforming person, and that I preferred the pronouns they, there. And she understood this and picked this up. I think I've passed the message one step forward.
Human dignity cannot be compromised by anything at all, because human rights give each individual agency to be, and gives each human being an equality to the other person.